Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, my name is Afra Chelsea Faunia and I'm from Class A, English Department, batch 2025, and my student ID number is 2513042017. And today, I will present a speech with the title, The Living Goddess in Nepal. So, what comes to your mind when I say the word goddess? Myths, legends, fairy tales, or something we cannot actually see with our own eyes. But what if I told you that we can actually see a goddess in real life? We can see this in Nepal. Well, actually, it's not literally a goddess, but an incarnation of a believed goddess. This is a tradition in Nepal. The living goddess has been a generational tradition upheld by the people of Nepal. This living goddess is known as Kumari, a word that comes from Sanskrit and means young girl or unmarried. In this speech, I will explain the origins of Kumari, the selection process, life as a Kumari, and the transition back to normal life, including the challenges involved. This tradition is believed to have originated during the Malla dynasty in the 13th century. The origin of this tradition comes from a legend. It is said that long time ago, a goddess named Taleju Bawani descended to earth. It is said that the kings of old worshipped the goddess. Therefore, the goddess Taleju often visited the palace to play dice and talk with the kings who once ruled at that time. And then, one time, the king who was the ruler at that time violated the sacred boundaries with goddess Taleju. This angered goddess Taleju, causing her to vanish. Eventually, filled with guilt, the king prayed for forgiveness. After countless prayers, the goddess appeared in the king's dream. She asked the king to select a young girl from 2 to 5 years old as a Kumari, as her incarnation. This Kumari candidate would come from Sakya clan, the Buddhist community. Afterward, the king built a temple named Kumarigar or Kumari house. And then the selection process for Kumari began when the previous Kumari retires. Typically, a Kumari retires upon experiencing her first menstruation or losing many blood from injured, and this marks the start of the Kumari selection process. The Kumari is chosen from among the Sakya clan, and the candidates are girls aged 2 to 5 years old. The first step is to match the horoscopes of the potential Kumari candidates with the king's horoscopes or the country's horoscope. They must be free from signs of misfortune. Next, a physical examination known as Batis Laksana or the 32 perfections. These include a body like a banyan tree, eyelashes like a cow's, a chest like a lion's, thigh like a deer's, a clear and soft voice like a dog's, smooth and flawless skin, free of scars or marks, birthmarks, a long and slender neck, and then neat and perfect teeth, having both parents still alive, and dark black hair and eyes. The next stage involves testing courage and calmness. The Kumari candidate spends the night in a dark room filled with dead animals. Then there are screams and masked dancers making threatening noises. And that night, the candidate must remain calm. She must not cry or scream, and then she will be declared to have passed to the final stage. Finally, in the last stage, the Kumari candidate must confidently select one object from among others and guess which one belonged to the previous Kumari. After being selected, the Kumari will reside in the Kumari Gar located in Kathmandu's Durbar Square along with her attendants. This place serves as both the Kumari's home and a temple. The Kumari's days are spent in prayer and filled with rituals as well as visits from devotees seeking blessings. The Kumari is not allowed to leave the Kumari Gar. She only goes out during festivals and special ceremonies. It is important to note that carried on a palanquin. So the Kumari is always being carried on a palanquin. The Kumari also rarely speaks and is not allowed to speak with strangers. She must remain calm, and her facial expression must be serious as she serves as a symbol of the goddess Taleju. In the past, before the modern era, Nepali society believed that if the Kumari smiled or laughed so hard, it would bring misfortune to the devotees, because the Kumari's expression must always be serious, calm, and emotionally restrained. This leads to the stigma among the community. In modern times, the Kumari is still required to maintain a calm, serious, and emotionally restrained expression, but only during ritual duties. Outside of that, the Kumari is permitted to express herself like any ordinary child. Later, after a Kumari experiences her first menstruation, or in rare cases, sustains an injury or bleeds due to the loss of a baby tooth, she is retired because she is no longer considered pure. Afterward, the Kumari then returns to her family and lives as an ordinary person. However, this transition poses challenges for retired Kumaris. The difficulties they face, especially for the modern era, are that Kumaris were usually not provided with an academic education, so they were far behind their peers in terms of education. It cannot be denied that in the past, some Kumaris were not provided with a basic education. They also struggled to socialize because they were worshipped as goddesses throughout their childhood. Many also feel a loss of identity or struggle to adapt to social life. However, in modern times, Kumaris are provided with an education, and while serving as Kumaris, they receive private tutors to teach them the basic of education. Though this is not comparable to a structured school system. As a result, after retire as Kumari, they can seek regular jobs, as an ordinary citizen. Additionally, the Nepalese government provides psychological support for retired Kumaris. Even so, the emotional burden of being worshipped as a goddess can still cause confusion in a child's mind, especially after they retire from that role. From this, we can conclude that while the title goddess may sound magical, like something out of a fairy tale, it carries a heavy burden and comes with sacrifices that must be made. Being a goddess isn't always as beautiful as we once imagined. There's an irony to it, especially when it means sacrificing a childhood that should be filled with happy memories. And that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much.